Yeah, I'm going on stand-up tour. In fact, I'm already on stand-up tour. You can see all my dates at KristinChirico.com. That's where you can get tickets. Also, sign up for my mailing list. That's how I know where to go. If I don't know where to go, then I don't know where to go. And, you know, just go. I don't know.
Then she's just throwing darts on a map.
Yeah, don't make me throw darts on a map. I can't throw things. Also, you know, I don't have any
that's
darts.
a risk.
That's a risk, okay?
It's a safety risk.
To me and the darts, honestly.
I brought this up the other day about GLP-1s, like thinness being back.
Fitness is back. Fitness is back. And fitness is back with a vengeance. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Heated Rivalry has only thrown gasoline on the fire.
Oh.
I think it has thrown so much gasoline on the fire. I think that it was already pretty bad. I think that this was just even more like somebody chugged a bottle of Jim Beam and then went all over it. So like there's a correlation between thinness being back and fascism being here.
Oh, let's talk about it.
So the aesthetics of thinness and also okay. There's lots of things about thinness, and people are gonna yell at me for this. This is true. Thinness is associated with whiteness.
Yes.
Like, we associate fatness with blackness,
yes.
Historically speaking. This is like, maybe you don't in your mind, but historically speaking, anti-fatness is anti-blackness. There have been books written about this, tons of essays written about this, like academic or otherwise. Like this is not, I'm not just saying this is like established theory. Yeah. And so like we also associate not only whiteness with thinness, but we associate sort of traditional feminine values with thinness. And like when we go through a period of society where like trad wives and like traditional femininity are sort of in vogue, thinness also becomes in vogue because those two things go hand in hand.
Right.
And so like the aesthetics of fascism is thinness.
Right.
And so we are going through a period, and also there's like a bit of a backlash from like sort of the fat acceptance of the 2010s.
Yep.
So it's really weird to be a fat person right now because I live in a time when my body is no longer cool.
Right.
What do I do with it? Do I sell it on eBay? Because I'm stuck with it.
Right.
My body is not really a trend. It's just sort of a thing I lug around that holds my brain.
Right.
And I think like, and it's also really frustrating as someone who is on GLP-1s for, I take Ozempic for diabetes.
Right.
It's because it's a diabetes drug.
Yeah.
And here's the annoying thing, man, it's a great diabetes drug.
Really?
It's a phenomenal diabetes drug. It takes care of so many things. It's lowered my cholesterol. It's lowered my like liver enzyme scores. It like basically like my blood work is beautiful.
That's fantastic.
It is immaculate. It is perfect. It is so good. It is sexy, fun, and fine. But it does, you know, it's also like frustrating to be on GLP-1s and not be losing any weight.
Yeah. Whereas many, and you see many influencers and celebrities touting the GLP-1s, and they're not using it for the medical benefits. They're using it for aesthetic weight loss.
They want to be like 15 pounds lighter.
Right.
They want to turn off their brain from being hungry.
Right.
Which is like, not to be like the heated rivalry backlash starts here.
Yeah.
But
the tides have turned.
I do think that heated rivalry and the fact that like those boys are like so cut.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm gonna be real for a second. The way that they talk about food and fatness in public is distressing. And it's been distressing for like a second. But the problem is that I can't bring that up because people will kill me.
Right.
But like the way they talk about carbs, the way they talk about fatness, the way they talk about bodies, and like a lot of it is the fact that they're young. Like they're young, they're babies.
Right.
And like they probably didn't, they haven't experienced life in a fat body, so they don't really understand like how language
reverberates
inside your little brain hole. And so like, there's that too, but it's been like a little distressing. I mean, it was kind of nice. So the actress who plays Yuna, who plays Shane's mom, talks about how like, she's like, they were working out on that set constantly. They were constantly working. They were also like, before they shot, they were probably like doing push-ups.
Right.
Like they were probably pumping up so they could look like buffer on camera.
Right.
But like, I do think that like a lot of us kind of looked at that and we're just like, happiness is available as long as you look like this.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a really good point.
And it's a little, I'm a little distressed. I'm a little disturbed.
And I think also too, this this general trend that we're seeing beyond heated rivalry. I mean, GLP-1s like have taken over the society psyche. I mean, there are ads constantly on social media for GLP-1s. You know, no shade to Serena Williams. We love Serena Williams on this podcast, but she recently came out in support of GLP-1s and had a whole massive ad campaign for GLP-1s. I mean, it is...
That was rough.
Yeah, there are... GLP-1s have taken over the cultural conversation for a while now.
Yeah.
And I think... But the nugget of thinness being back and that being something that we are all striving for, I think is really kind of taken up a notch in the last 6 to 8 to 9 months.
Yes.
And I think, to your point, it echoes a trend from the early 2000s. It starts to echo that...
the tyranny of low-rise jeans are back.
Yeah, that hashtag Anna Instagram.
Yeah, hashtag Hannah, hashtag Mia. You know what we should talk about? That I'm so, you know what, fuck it, who cares? I'm not even really on Twitter anymore. Who gives a shit?
Let's go.
In my time as an internet content creator, I have not really been afraid of any groups of people. I'm not afraid of alt-right guys. I'm not afraid. I'm not really, because like they're not very organized. They also lose. They're not
very organized.
They're not organized. They lose interest fast. Like it's not
so funny.
They're not like they're not like any. They're also like not the audience I want. So I'm not worried about pleasing them. It's like whatever. Who cares? I don't really worry about them. The only group of people on the internet I've ever been truly terrified of is eating disorder Twitter.
They're scary.
I'm not like, and
because
truly
they are organized.
They are organized and they are committed.
Yeah.
They
remember every calorie they've eaten. You think they're not going to forget your account, your handle?
Really, and the thing is, like, they are vicious. Yeah. They are vicious and they are persistent. And the thing is also is a lot of them hide behind that. Well, I'm just a child. Like, you can't get mad at me. And
right.
I'm like, yeah, okay, but like, they do.
Hate speech is hate speech.
I'm a mentally ill child, and it's just like, okay. I mean, sure, but like, if you know well enough to know that you need a defense for what you're doing, maybe you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like a few years ago, I think I ran afoul of eating disorder Twitter. I don't even know how I did, but like,
they don't even know how you did.
I don't know how I did.
They're hungry.
I don't know how I did, but I think I blocked out a lot of it, but they were finding pictures of me from like years and years prior.
Oh my God.
They were constantly spamming me with pictures of things. They were so aggressive. I had to stop blocking them because every time I blocked them, 5 more of them would show up to ask to be blocked. I had to basically I had to uninstall Twitter from my phone.
That's crazy.
They brigaded me for so long. I like literally, this was the only time where I was like, oh, I think I'm actively suicidal. I think I'm actively suicidal from.
Oh my God.
They did like roundups of like pictures from me. They talked about how I was like dragging Jen down.
Oh my God.
Like, they talked about how like they said, like one person was just like, if I could torture and kill one subhuman beast, it would be, yeah, it was crazy.
This is hard.
And they do it. The thing is, they justify it by saying, well, she's on the internet. She's a public figure. I can do it. It's fine. And we're 19, so it's fine.
And this is the problem with thinness being back, is because we start to promote these subcultures. We start to promote this behavior.
Yes.
We start to promote this being as the thing that we're striving for, that are really dangerous.
Oh yeah, I was so scared of them for so long. I wouldn't even I basically just stopped mentioning. I wouldn't even mention them on Twitter. I wouldn't even, and like, because the thing is, like, also they'll be like, "How dare you draw attention to us?" And it's like, you guys draw attention to yourselves.
Yeah, if you're threatening to, if you're saying, if you're actively wishing my death.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
And like the thing is also is that they also like to go back and sort of retroactively. They like to go back and retroactively say like, well, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We would never do that. And it's just like, no,
You did.
You did. It's really bad. But yeah, for a long time I was like terrified to even talk about it. And I feel the fact that thinness is back, I feel it like very acutely whenever I'm like, honestly, I know it sounds weird, at the Comedy Store.
Interesting.
When I go to the Comedy Store, it's very like, oh, hey, it's me and a bunch of people who don't look like me.
Yeah.
Here we go again. It's like,
yeah.
I am aware of the fact that I am the fattest person in any given space I am ever in. And it's not through lack of trying.
Yeah.
It's just, or at least the fattest woman.
Yeah. And I think also, too, when you're being a woman in comedy is already being a minority, then you add being, a fat person in comedy, and then you add, and, the number of you gets smaller and smaller.
Like, that's, yeah, it's really terrifying. And also, like, I'm aware of the fact that, like, it's a broader trend towards people being, like, less open-minded about, like, how we treat people who are more marginalized than us. You want something wild? So, like, oftentimes people will tell me, like, oh, hey, no political comedy, or, like, for, like, sets or whatever, like, just, like, no political comedy for something like that. Or they'll be like, oh, make sure, like if when you're putting together, like, a late night set, or, like, a late night audition or something, like, everyone says, like, you can't do, like, political jokes.
Right.
But I'm always allowed to do jokes about my fatness. Always.
But which is an inherently political issue.
And I realized recently that the reason why that's still allowed is because people do not view my fatness as political. They view my fatness as so abhorrent that they do not understand why anyone would take some sort of political stance towards, like, some sort of civil rights or equality for someone who is fat. They would just assume that that's something that you would always permanently want to be getting rid of. And
also place blame as your fault.
Yes. It's like, it's so like people,
it's not a universal thing. There's no components of it that have anything to do with larger issues. That is inherently your fault thing.
That is sort of the really hard part about being a fat person, is that, like, not only do people not believe that, like, you struggle in a way that's, like, very significant, they won't even accept you mentioning it. They won't even accept you bringing it up.
Right.
They won't even, like, accept the premise of your argument.
Right.
And
it's your fault.
Yes.
It's your fault you feel that way. It's your fault you're in this position. That's the narrative.
Yes. And it got a little bit better. It got a little bit better in the 2010s, and boy, it got so much worse.
Yeah. The pendulum swung.
The pendulum swung back and hit me in the head.
Yeah.
And, like, to the point where, honestly, every time I'm with the doctor will be like, so how much weight have you lost? Not my my primary care doctor, fucking love him. Fucking love you, Jeremy. You're the best. But every other doctor I have is just like, so how much weight have you lost so far? And I usually lie, and I'm like, 20 pounds. And they're like, how long have you been on it? And I was like, 3 years. And they're like, oh, weird. And I'm like, yeah,
it's not from, that's the other thing. There's, like, genetic components that have to do with this. Like, it's not, this is, like.
It's also bodies. It's like, the thing I tell everyone is that if you lose a massive amount of weight, 95% of all people who lose, like, a lot of weight will gain it back on a long enough timeline.
Yeah.
Because that is how bodies work.
Yeah.
The 5% of people who do not gain it back are torturing themselves, are basically spending their entire lives are revolving around being a size that their body does not want to be.
Yeah.
And, like, GLP-1s do a thing where they cause you to, like, sort of rewire your brain in such a way where, like, you can maybe stave that off for longer, but you have to be taking them forever.
Right.
And it's like, I hope this drug I'm taking doesn't fucking give me something else.
Right.
Kind of a bummer of a conversation, I'm realizing.
No, but I think it's important. And I it's also educational, because I feel like, there are people who don't know that side, or who haven't had the ability to have this type of discourse.
And I'm I try to be a fat activist, but I'm not the best fat activist, because if I see, like, the celebrity of the moment saying something pretty fat phobic, I understand that I've got to just keep my mouth shut. I understand that I can't say anything.
Yeah.
And I have to just sort of let it go. And I'm talking to other fat people about it.
Yeah.
Like, we're having, like, back channel conversations about it and being like, yeah, it kind of sucks. So we just have to, like,
Eat it.
Eat it, because like no one's gonna side with us. No one's gonna agree with us. Everyone's gonna be mad at us. So it's like we have to just eat it.
Yeah.
And it's.
But I think you are a good activist in the sense that like you are open to having these discussions. You are open to having. You are publicly having these discussions that I think a lot of people. It's really important that they hear.
Yeah, I wish
particularly somebody who operates in a space of thinness.
I know, and I like here's the thing is I think people think that I'm just like I love my body, but I love it now. Like people think that I'm just like, yes, I am the bitch. Like the truth is that like every day of my life, because of the way people treat me and because of like the circumstances that surround my fatness, I wish every day that I could have a different body. But I understand that that's not because my body is inherently bad. It's because I'm reacting to the way other people are treating me.
Of course.
I'm reacting to the way other circumstances are happening.
Yeah.
Like I'm reacting to the fact that like, you know, if I'm on an airplane, I'm sitting next to somebody who's thin and they're pissed about me like taking the armrest because I'm fat, like it, you know, it could turn into I get kicked off the plane.
Yeah. And
like that's something I think about. I mean, granted, like I'm relatively smaller. Like that's more of an issue for people who are like bigger than me. But like, it's something I think about. Like,
but it still crosses your mind. It still crosses your mind as you're operating in spaces with other people where this is like a concern of yours.
Yeah.
And like, and it's valid. It's not something you made up in your head. It's the way that people treat you. And so, and that's real. That is your real life.
And GLP-1s, I think being so commonplace and being like so ubiquitous, I think has made it seem that like thinness is achievable for every person.
Right.
That thinness is one miracle drug away for everyone. And that like this is a problem of the past. And it's like that doesn't really look at like, honestly, it kind of ignores like everything we know about like weight loss.
Right.
And everything we know about like the science of fatness. And like, because we know, like science knows that massive weight loss at scale does not work.
Right.
We know.
Right.
This isn't like, oh, it's a mystery. We know.
Right.
Like you have to win the lottery in order for it to work at scale, in order for it to work at all for you on a long enough timeline.
Right.
It's just that we ignore that because
it's easier to place blame on the individual than it is to address the...
It is. So obviously as we're filming this, I mean, granted, there's been like an ICE crackdown for a while now.
Yeah.
But like the big headline right now is like Trump has sent a bunch of people into Minnesota basically in order to punish Tim Walz and also to punish the fact that Minnesota's a blue state.
And to I think, also obfuscate from the massive file trove dump that just happened on Friday of the Epstein files.
Exactly. And then also to scapegoat like the massive Somalian community who lives there. A variety of other things I'm probably not mentioning, but and it's so funny because I feel like we see a lot of people on Instagram right now. It's like I feel like there's this group of people who like haven't yet made activism a part of like their daily practice.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of are like they're constantly scanning like the political environment for being like, oh shit, is now the time that I gotta talk about things or else people are gonna yell at me. It's like I can't fathom personally being a person who's like, oh, now it's time. It's like it's always time.
It's always time.
It's always fucking time.
Yeah.
Like,
and I will honestly say, like, I have posted a few times, like, if you're staying silent, like, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
And that has been directed at like several people in my life specifically.
That's so crazy that you know people who are like still afraid.
Yeah. Who are still afraid, who operate as public figures, who are still afraid. And that's what we were saying earlier before we get on. I'm like, what is the fear of speaking out against what's going on right now? Because this is categorically evil, unconstitutional, illegal, murdering citizens in the street. There is no other side of this. Who's gonna tell you that you've done something wrong by speaking out against? What's the consequence?
Whose money do you want?
Exactly.
Like, exactly. Do you want those people's money? Like, do you really want the money of like fucking Mike Backwards Hat? Like, he's like, who cares?
Who
like,
cares?
But there are people who care. Like, there's like, it's like, did you see? I don't know. Can we talk about this? Did you saw like Tim Dillon's Insta stories?
Oh, where he's like finally speaking out
about, I know, but
it's
very mealy mouthed and very like, well, you know, I just think that like, I don't even know. It's like it's so silly.
He's just like you can be what he said was he was like, you can be against what's happening in Minnesota and want like, border reform or
Whenever
something
white
like
people
that.
talk about that,
Yeah.
I'm just like, you don't belong here either.
Yeah.
You're not from here either.
Yeah.
Like, I literally, in my DMs at this point, sometimes people will be like, you don't believe in immigration reform? And I'm just like, brown people are from here.
Yeah.
You are not, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Like, you're, like, I don't know
You're
how
on stolen land.
the fact, like, listen, like, here's how your ancestors got here. They came here on a boat. They went through the Costco line at Ellis Island.
Yeah.
They got a slightly fucked up name, and then they scooted their butt out to whatever fucking Triangle Shirtwaist factory they were gonna work at.
Yeah.
Like, that's how your ancestors got here. Do you think that, like, your ancestors would have been able to get here if they had the same rules as right now? No.
No.
Like, honestly, any person who's just like Mexican shouldn't be here. It's just like, you just don't understand. Like, you are just willfully misunderstanding the history of this land.
Yeah. You're willfully ignorant. You don't want to learn, and you want to blame people who are poorer than you and who are escaping far worse conditions than you.
Conditions that your government most likely manufactured for them.
Literally, yeah.
Conditions that, like, the global north has made possible.
Yeah, that the imperialism has constructed by its own hand.
Like, it's like we're a group of people who, like, basically, like, fuck up Jenga towers all over the world and then get mad when the people who live in those towers come hang out with us. Like, fucking...
Yeah, what do you expect? What do you expect when you've been destabilizing most of the countries in the world?
I know.
For the last,
You can want immigration reform. Like, I would rather, honestly, quit stand-up. I'd rather no longer be a stand-up than be a person who has to make people like that happy.
Yeah.
If my career, if you told me, Kristin, you cannot make a career as a stand-up unless you make mouth breathers like that happy, I would rather eat my own fucking feet.
Yeah. No, there's no way. But that's also the thing too. It's like that's not sustainable. Is making those people happy is not sustainable because you're choosing the side of people who have felt ostracized and neglected, choosing hate, and it's not sustainable, particularly if you want to make art, because yes, stand-up comes from pain and all of these things, but there is inherent joy from it. And I also think too there's an argument to be made that there is a fundamental, I think there's one thing that unifies stand-ups in most stand-ups, I'll say, is that there is like there's a love. There's a love of community, of the universal human condition, and finding humor and tragedy to bring levity and light to a situation. And that is a fundamentally loving desire. You as a stand-up cannot grow as an artist if you are choosing to live in hate.
Yeah, if you are a person who kowtows to people who want to be racist, you aren't doing a stand-up show, you're doing a rally.
Exactly.
You're doing a clan rally.
You're doing a clan rally. Yeah.
And that, honestly, I think I've been thinking a lot about this as, like, in terms of my, because I've been working on my hour right now, obviously on the road. And, like, something I do in my hour that I kind of am, I have like a few moments in it where I kind of want to stop doing it. Where, like, I'll say something that isn't so much a laugh break as it is like an applause break. Like, I'll be like, something, right? And I'll say the word right. And I know it's a prompt for agree with me. And, like, I am setting up a joke there.
Right.
But, like, I use that setup a number of times. And a part of me is just like, I need to stop relying on that as a setup. I need to stop relying on that as, like, the tension creation before I do the drop.
Right.
Because this is sounding a little bit too much like a TED Talk about how everyone here is good.
Right. No, I think
I'm trying not to do that.
I respect that so much because I think that's where we as progressives lose people as stand-ups.
Yeah, I know. And, like, the thing is, it's like, but I'm going to be real with you. I don't care.
I don't think we're losing the people that I think we're losing people because I think as stand-ups our thing is to, like, bring levity to tragedy, right? And it's like when the subtext is, right? We live in this chaotic, fucked up world, right?
Yeah.
And that's the subtext. When we telegraph that, that's when people go, well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's true. I mean, like it's
We're getting very inside baseball now, but I think it's smart of you as an artist, and I respect you as an artist to make that distinction, because I think it makes you a better stand-up to acknowledge that than to rely on the universal, we're all good people, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm trying not to use that. I'm trying to like get rid of it as like as a drop, because I don't think it's a good device. There is a celebrity who watches all of my Insta stories.
Oh, yes.
We are not going to say who. There is a celebrity who watches all of my Insta stories. There's a person who is more famous than me by like a lot. And I don't know why.
I think they respect you.
I don't think that's what it is. I should say anymore, it's not as much as it used to be. In like 2024, early 2025, it was like every single Insta story. And it was early. It was like within the first like 100 or 200 views. It was early. And I was just like, what are you getting out of this? I couldn't, because this person wasn't like DMing me a lot or anything. And like didn't like react to stuff that frequently. Like would sometimes, but like not that much. Like I would say the last time they liked an Insta story of mine was like maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, I want to say. But like the thing is like this is a person who has they have nothing to gain from me. They have nothing to. What you're looking at me with that smile like this. I don't know why. And it's been like a baffling mystery amongst me and my friends for like years now. We're like, why is this person watching my Insta stories? They don't have to be.
I think they either want to hit.
No, they do not. Because here's the thing. I know they don't want to hit because I know what that looks like. I know what that looks like. If someone wants to hit, they're reacting to like every story. They're reacting with like the fire emoji. They're like sliding in my DMs. They're like, no, they don't. They don't want to hit. They don't want to hit. They don't
believe it. Not an active pursuit of the hit. I think it's a back pocket.
I don't think so at all. I don't think that's what it is at all.
I just don't think men give a fuck that much to watch the stories if it's not like, what's she up to?
Well, here's what I think this person...
You know what I mean?
Here's what I think this person is doing. Here's what I think. I think that this person is not as plugged in to progressive and leftist causes, particularly local ones to LA, as I am.
Oh.
I think that like this person views me as like a resource of like I think that I surface things for them that they would not.
But you've told me that they've liked shit that is not related to that before. You've told me that.
Okay, they have.
And they've reacted to shit that was not related to that before.
Yes, they have. But
I'm just saying.
But it was still but what they've reacted to was tangentially related to progressive
But there were
causes.
also selfies in there.
There were some selfies in there. But
What'd I say?
I don't think they want to hit. I don't. I can't stress this enough. I'll explain to you off camera why I don't think they don't want to hit. But I do think it's very funny, and I do think it's like really odd that like they watch so many of my stories.
I would love for men to like chime in, like, why do you want, like, if you are within
it
the
is
first...
a man. We should say it is a man.
It is a man, but I do want to know, like, I would love men...
It is a straight man.
It is a straight man. I would love for straight men to like chime in, like, why do you peep the female stories, like... Constantly. Because I have some, I call them what you doing warriors, the what you doing warriors. Like, they're the ones that are like within the first... 15 seconds. 15 seconds.
Yes.
And you're like, we haven't spoken in 4 years.
I was talking to Libby about this, and I was just like, okay, so our theory is that like this person basically doesn't feel connected to like, so like I help them like understand like more stuff going on. Libby, who's a man, Libby was like, I think he's just online. I think he's just bored. I was like, I think he's just really online. And I was like, no, like this is a person who has things to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is a person who's working. Like this is not like he's like, nah, dude, I think he's just scrolling. I think he's just online. I think he just likes his phone. And I was just like, I was like, get the fuck, shut up.
I don't know. I don't think that's the truth. I don't think that's real. I know. That wouldn't explain the likes, and it wouldn't explain the consistency of it. The consistency of the views, it wouldn't explain. We need to get men. I need you to chime in. Why is it that you watch women's stories that you've never
please
met?
explain.
I brought up a good point about taking pictures of protests.
Oh, stop taking pictures of people at protests. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. It's bad OPSEC. It's bad. When you take pictures of people at protests and you post them online, you give the government more data about who's at a protest. A protest is not about the individual people at the protest, unless the individual people at the protest specifically want to be photographed because like they're a public figure and they want to like they want to show support
publicly.
That's different, whatever, fine. But like taking pictures of random people at protests, like that's how they like build a file on you. It's how they build a file on people. Don't do it. Stop doing it. Like,
and we're not at the day and age anymore where we can be like, oh, the government doesn't care. Like they've got bigger fish to fry.
The government cares.
They give a fuck now.
They do have bigger fish to fry, but they are ignoring those fish.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
They care about us.
Yeah.
The us fish. Like, honestly, that's why I think like some people are like really like, ugh, protest signs are like so silly. And it's like, I understand that like obviously like coming up with like a catchy protest sign is like not, you know, the necessarily like high on the list of like things we should be doing in terms of resistance. But I do think that like taking a picture of a protest sign and just a protest sign, if you must take a picture at a protest, fine. Like I genuinely think that like the only people who should be taking photos at protests and stuff are like journalists.
100%.
Like I think that like, you know.
It's not a place to performatively post that you're there.
No.
Right? Like the point of a protest is that you are putting your body and on the line.
Yes.
And that in the act of itself is the form of protest.
Yes.
You don't need if the whole reason you're there is to post, stay at home and repost something else.
Yeah, don't
like
do
you
that.
don't need to be there to take. This is not an Instagram op.
This is
not
no
the
longer
pink wall.
Yeah,
on Melrose.
This is not the pink wall. It's gonna be
Yeah,
the red wall.
it's gonna be the red
if we
wall.
don't knock it off.
Yeah, if we don't stop.
Like people have to stop doing this. It's
Yeah.
like it's something that I feel like people were very naggy about 5 years ago, and I'm telling you, we are at the emergency point.
Yeah.
Like they had a file on Alex
Preddy. I know.
They had a file on him.
They had a file.
They knew who he was. Like they know who people are. Like
Right.
that's
someone obviously took a
like,
photo of it.
Granted, like if you're photographing like ICE agents and like you get like other people like in, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
obviously
no.
not talking about like if we catch people in the act of like trying to like document
the atrocities.
The atrocities, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who are just like straight up being like, "Hey, girl, like
I'm at the
cheers!"
protest.
Like, stop doing it.
Yeah. Duck face at the protest.
Like,
You're like taking a selfie like as someone's like getting like, you know, like assaulted in the back. You're like,
that. What was the video from a few years ago? That's praxis.
yeah.
Karl Marx, my daddy.
I love him. It's so hot.
Like, yeah, don't do that anymore.
No, no more. No more.
Okay, great. I'm glad we covered that.
Okay, so I saw Avatar.
I did not see Avatar, Milk and Butter or whatever.
Milk and Butter. Fire and Ash.
Okay.
First of all, I have never been in a longer movie before in my life. 3 hours and 17 minutes. I had to pee at the hour and a half mark. When I finally went to the bathroom, I pissed for 5 minutes straight.
You know what? It's your fault for seeing this movie. You have no one to blame but yourself.
Okay, I also feel like though, if I'm going to go to a movie, if I'm gonna pay like $50, like it better be fucking 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like at least I'm getting my money's worth.
Why would
right?
you want to see 3 hours of movie?
I don't know.
What for what?
Honestly, because I'm such a cooked individual, it's 3 hours I'm not on my phone.
Okay, so that is real. I used to go to movies all the time. I don't anymore because I'm too busy, which is really frustrating for me. But like I used to constantly go to movies by myself during the day because I just wanted to turn on. I wanted to like not be on my phone for 2 hours.
That's why I go.
Yeah.
That's literally why I go.
Yeah, I would.
Because I don't want to be on my phone, and it's like, okay, I'm going to be consuming something other than like social media slop. Mm-hmm. And it's a moment, and it's like, okay, 3 hours and 17 minutes where I wasn't on my phone. Good for you, like literally. But I do want to say, James Cameron, I have a hot take. I think he's sexually attracted to fish. I think the way that we are looking at the marine creatures in Avatar, very sexualized. I think he is deeply, deeply attracted to whales and underwater creatures. I think you
might be right. Now that I think about like his track record and like kind of like who he is as an artist, even when I'm thinking about like Titanic, even if I'm thinking about
He wants to be balls deep in the ocean.
he wants to teabag the ocean.
He wants to teabag the ocean with his full sack. It is crazy to me. The way that the dedication to which we're looking at the underbelly of a whale is of an avatar whale is beyond. Like,
why do we care about whales in that movie anyway?
oh my God, it's so fucked up. They literally, first of all, I also only go to movies so that I can get high. We need to stop making movies 3D. I'm already nauseous because I'm high in the movie.
Are we still doing that?
Oh my God, it was IMAX and in 3D, and I'm on
You
like.
did this to yourself. You did this to yourself. Okay, you're like, why is this movie $50? And I was like, because you're paying $50 to torture yourself.
I read that on the notes, and is it only in 3D?
That was the only thing they
was
had.
that a choice?
No, it was only IMAX 3D, or you could see it not in IMAX, and I wanted to see it in IMAX. Like it is like, you know. Look, he spent like fucking 15 years making the thing for IMAX. I'm gonna see it in fucking IMAX.
No, he didn't. He spent like a year and a half making the thing. He spent 13 and a half years dicking around at the bottom of the ocean.
I don't know. You know these movies take forever, but I wanted to see it in IMAX, and I wanted to recline, and I wanted to be on mushrooms. But I didn't know that the 3D was
A part of it?
A part of it that you couldn't see. They've now like no longer separated IMAX and 3D. You could only see in IMAX 3D.
Well, yeah, they want to keep the crazy people away from the rest of us. I don't want to be near those people. I don't want to be near you freaks.
Yeah, so
You're
I'm
still
like,
seeing a 3D movie in the big 2.6?
I know. So I'm sitting there, I'm on, mushrooms, and I'm just sitting there, and it's like, the whale's tail's hitting me in the face and shit, and I'm like, I'm gonna barf, and I have to pee. We need to stop with the 3D movies. We need to stop making them in general. There's no reason for a movie to be 3D and 3D.
They really aren't making them anymore except for IMAX.
There does not need to be any more 3D movies.
Listen,
That's
if
it.
the only way you can sit through a movie is if it's an IMAX, then just fucking get some keys and jangle them in front of your face. Like, I just don't understand. You did this to yourself. I don't mean to victim blame here, but like you're like the meme of like you have the boot on your hand. You're like, like you fucking.
I did not know it was in IMAX and 3D when I bought it. I didn't know.
Usually they mark it. Usually they're just like, hey, it
said it was IMAX. It didn't say it was in 3D. So I was like, I bought it in, I bought wanting to see IMAX just because I was like, why, if you're gonna see this, like.
I did see the second Avatar movie. Okay, I have a bad native take. This is a bad native take. The first Avatar kind of slaps.
Facts.
It kind of slaps. Is it a deeply racist movie with a really bad premise and like
it's basically just Pocahontas.
It's basically it is in a lot of ways. It is basically like it's sci-fi Pocahontas.
It's sci-fi Pocahontas,
which is in and of itself also a deeply problematic movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
As of if you can ignore
everything about it,
if I can ignore everything about human history and my own trauma and my own knowledge of my own historical trauma, and just watch it, Avatar is kind of good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate saying it. James Cameron unfortunately did make one good. The second one's really bad. I did see the second one.
Yeah, the second one. Honestly, the third one was like the craziest amalgamation of both films into one.
Did that movie make money?
I don't know. Nikki, how much money did the new Avatar make? Well, first of all, now we have like 4 different Avatar worlds. We've got the fire people, we've got the ocean Avatar people, we've got the forest Avatar people.
What's the fourth?
The wind. There's air. There's now air Avatar people.
It grossed 1.2. Oh my God.
Billion. Wow.
Okay, so this was.
But again, I'm sure it was mostly international.
I wonder how much the first one made.
No.
But 2.9 billion.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
So much money.
So much. And that's 2009.
Yeah.
That was when billion was not a common.
Yeah, when people were not making. I know it's. I thought the first one was good. I watched it, and the thing is like Jada Schmieding has like a funny joke about this. She's like, as a native person watching Avatar, like the one question I have is like, where are all the fat avatars? It's like
none.
Where are all the fat avatars?
Zero. No fat avatars.
No, where are they?
None. Zero.
Realistic.
This is not realistic. What I wanted to get to is how do we bring movies back? How do we bring the movie theater experience back?
Okay, how we bring the movie theater experience? Honestly, I think a few ways.
Okay.
we start making smaller movies.
Okay, smaller budget.
Smaller budget movies.
Okay.
Smaller movies. We start making movies that are more of a communal experience again.
I would agree. It needs to be a hang.
It needs to be a hang. And I say this as someone who there's every helicopter on Earth is above us right now.
I know. Whatever.
I don't know if you can hear it, but it's driving me crazy. Movies.
They're looking for me because I said fuck Kristi Noem in the last episode.
Is there a protest over here? Yeah, good.
Yeah. Fuck ICE.
It's funny because like I'm someone who obviously does not like when movies are loud. I don't like when people are yapping in the movie theaters. However, I do think that like if COVID had not happened, the Cats rowdy screenings would have continued for like a year.
Right.
Would have continued for like a whole year. I think.
Yeah.
And that's I think like that's what COVID took from us.
Yeah.
COVID took the Cats rowdy screenings from us because those are just getting started.
Yeah.
Those are really just getting off the races.
Those ones where, you know, people are clapping in the theater. I will say, unfortunately, people were really active in Avatar. Like when they killed the white people who were trying to kill the whales, everybody stood up and clapped.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Why would you clap at a movie?
But he is attracted to marine creatures.
No,
I want to circle back to that. James Cameron is 100% trying to fuck a whale.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen. Like, I think he's never gonna because like whales can do better than him, and like I think that James Cameron needs to.
Did you see though that people commented on the video of your hot take about Titanic, and they were like, "That was James Cameron's dainty little hand."
I don't think it was. I think they're wrong. I think it's Kate Winslet's. I don't think they're right. I think that they're wrong about that.
It's alien fucking.
He is a bizarre man.
Yeah, he's a bizarre man.
He's a bizarre man.
With potentially dainty little hands.
I don't think so. I think that's wrong.
Wait, look it up though, Nikki. Was James Cameron's hand the one in Titanic?
I don't even care.
She's like, no, I don't
I
care.
won't accept it.
I won't accept it.
I just listen. No, it was his hand that did the drawing of Rose.
Oh.
No, people,
No,
it's
I didn't
AI
know.
has lied to us for the
AI
50th
has
time.
lied.
It's the
Yeah.
sketching scene. No,
Did the drawing
it's the
of
picture does not correlate with what the AI is saying.
Oh.
James Cameron's hand doing the drawing, not on the fucking.
Oh.
Proved you
I was
wrong.
right. You know what? I was really obstinate about being right, and it turns out I was correct.
I want to go back to your other point about moving in silence is dumb.
Okay, yeah. People talk a lot about like moving in silence, which is
Yeah.
like not talking about the things you're working on,
Yeah.
and just like sort of.
I'm
like,
so bad at that.
I think moving in silence is silly. I think it's like, first of all, I'm very fat. I can't move in silence. Okay, everyone knows where I'm going at all times. That's just a given. But like, also, I personally think that we should talk more about the things that we're working on, because I think that we sort of, I think we like tabooify. What's the word? Oh my god, I can't think of the word.
We
We sort of shit on people talking about working on things and like the process and the
and
trenches.
their wins, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that like we sort of are just like, you should move in silence. You shouldn't talk about like the things you're working on. You should only talk about the things that like you've already accomplished. And it's like, yeah, but like here's the thing. I think that like we don't have a good sense for how long things take.
Yeah.
I think we have a bad time sense. Like I've been working on a book proposal for this iteration of the book proposal for 5 years. For 5 years. And I'm on like the 5-yard line. Like and that's going out like next month. And that is if I can, well, okay, so I have to make like, I have to accept a bunch of line edits, and then I have to write like 2 things. There's one thing on my book proposal I've been putting off writing for 6 months, and it's going to take me an hour. And I know, but it's like, it's taken me like 5 years to write this. And I remember once I asked someone how long it took to write their book proposal, and they were like, oh, like a month or 2. And I was like, oh, and like this was before I'd gone through this process. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it's only gonna take me like a month or 2 to write this book proposal. No, 5 years. It was 5 years. Like I have not been quiet about this. Like I've been talking about this book for like ever, to the point where sometimes people will DM me and be like, can I buy your book? And I was like,
It ain't out yet.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But like, no. I think that we need to be more vocal about the things that we're working on and the things that we want.
I agree.
I think that people are too shy about talking about the things that they want. Like I was talking to you about this. So like I want to make a horror movie.
Yes, you were talking to me
I
about
want to make
this.
a horror movie. I want to make a horror movie with myself in it.
Yeah.
Because my theory on this is, I think that I was thinking about this the other day. like for a long time, I feel like I've sort of been ingrained with the idea that like you'll never be a leading lady. You'll always be like a fat best friend. And even then you're like a little bit too fat to be a fat best friend because fat best friends are like size 16s. So like you're like woman at the library who causes a scene. Like that's like sort of like what I will get cast in. But then I realized that like, you know, my whole internet life, men have been commenting on videos of me with gifs of Jabba the Hutt. And I'm like, well, okay. That tells me that you may not see me as like a leading lady, but you can see me as like a leading monster.
Jabba the cunt.
And if you can see me as a monster, I can turn that into money. I can turn that into opportunity. Like, I can make a movie where I'm a monster if that's how you see me, if that's not a hard stretch. That is kind of my thinking. And also, I love horror. But
yeah,
like,
you do love horror.
I do love horror.
I love that as long as it's grounded in love to me.
I love horror.
A love of a genre.
I love
because
horror.
I would never want you to make something that's like out of the way that like stupid men see you.
No. And I also don't, I think that would be a flaw too, because those stupid men aren't going to be spending money to see me anyway. But I do think that it does reflect like how I perceive myself.
You're also saying it's an outlet for anger.
Yes, it is an outlet for anger.
Which I am completely pro.
I think that there's been like a lot of like horror movies where it's like it's a metaphor for grief, and like I think that's been done to death. I think I want to see more horror movies that are a metaphor for anger.
What if you were like, I'm so angry at the way the government is treating people, and you just like inject yourself with like some sort of experimental treatment and you become like the eco-terrorist for good.
Well, that's just a superhero movie.
But you're like evil. You're like murdering and slaughtering people.
Like Robin Hood, but for the
Yes.
Captain Planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jabba the cunt. Robin Hood edition.
I think that's just a thriller. I would need like because I think like I do want to make a movie where I'm genuinely the bad guy, where I'm genuinely the monster.
If you're, skinning what's his name? Greg Bovino upside down in a cave while his kids watch.
So I want to make a movie where I'm genuinely the monster. You're failing to describe scenarios.
Fair.
I'm just like
I'm just describing torture. I'm not but it's justifiable torture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I think I would like to write a horror movie where I read myself as a character that's like kind of the worst iteration of like what it is that like men perceive me as.
Okay.
And like how I feel trapped by that.
Okay.
And how it traps me and how like I fight against that trap. That's
Okay.
what I think. But I kind of want to make I would like to see metaphors for anger and less metaphors for grief.
Okay.
Because I think that like there is like kind of a long simmering. I think that like a lot of slasher movies don't take advantage of the fact that like, I think a slasher movie could be a very cathartic anger release.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You should read the Mindfuck series.
You're constantly trying to get me to read. Okay, fine. You're making me read a second book.
Read the Mindfuck series.
Fine.
You're gonna hate it, but there
Okay.
will be at least one nugget to inspire this because there is that is kind of the premise of it. She's a slasher.
Yeah.
She's going back to seek revenge.
Uh-huh.
She's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Against the men that have abused her and wronged her.
Yeah, I think, and the thing is like, I think that like if there's some sort of like righteous anger, I think people would buy me as a monster. Would you sound off in the comments? Would you buy me as a monster?
But here's the thing. I don't think people would buy you as a monster. I feel like they would buy you as a justified
monster. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because
yes.
you are so you radiate love in such a way that I don't think I would have a hard time being like, I hate this person. And you have to hate
that
the
seems
monster.
Like a challenge.
Fine.
That seems like a fucking
But do you know
challenge.
what I mean? Like
no,
I feel
know
like I feel like
someone did say that to me when I was talking about this. They're just like, but you're so likable. And
yeah,
I was just
that's
like,
the thing. You are so likable.
And I was like, I don't think I am. I think
that's the interior monologue of
okay.
Of trauma.
Is this like a lack of understanding of how I'm perceived by people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's a
you
problem.
radiate love in a way that is like palpable.
Okay, that's fair. Should we answer some questions?
Yes, we should answer
We have
some
so
questions.
many questions.
We have so many questions.
So many people submitted questions.
Thank you guys for submitting your questions. We have not done this in a while, but I really, really like doing them. Please continue to submit them. tinyurl.com/night school advice. We will answer them as you submit them.
God, that first one is woo! All right.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Hey guys, I recently had a situation with one of my close guy friends. I want to add that this man is extremely hot and I've had a mild crush on him when I first met him, but then I found out he was married, so I shelved it. Recently, I found out that he and his wife like to hook up with other women. I'm bisexual and I kind of feel like I want to ask them to join, but I don't want to ruin the friendship. Wife's super hot too, by the way. Kind of feels like a win-win for me, but I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like if the wife's down, you should do it. Like if you have
to talk to the wife.
Yeah.
This is the entry point is not through the husband. The entry point is through the wife.
Yes.
So you need to understand that that's the entry point. I'm going to say this right here. This feels like a dead dove do not eat to me.
Ooh.
Like this is dead dove. Like this is, I need you to look at the warning signs here, really look at them and be like, hey, is this worth maybe blowing up this relationship over?
I have a little bit of insight on this. Wife is down.
Wife is down. Okay.
Which is helpful information. I won't say anything more because I don't want to out this person, but wife is down.
Wife is down. Okay. If the wife is down, you need to go through the wife.
Yeah. And focus on the relationship with the wife. I think that's the biggest key.
You also need to understand, it's like, I just feel like you had better be prepared for the fact that this is going to get weird, especially if you don't do this regularly. Because here's the thing. Here's a number of scenarios that can happen. You have sex, it's great, you keep doing it. And then you keep doing it, and then maybe you develop feelings for somebody.
One of them.
For one of them. And then that becomes a problem, okay?
Best case, it's the woman.
Best case, yeah. Worst case, it's the man.
Yeah.
Actually, best case, it's both of them.
True.
But, or you have sex with them one time, and then it's bad. And then you have blown up this relationship.
Yeah.
So.
If it's something that they do regularly.
this is a really, you know, when you go skiing and you know how there's like different slope difficulties?
Yeah.
This feels like a real black double diamond situation.
Yeah, triple black diamond.
When you is this your first threesome? Because like, it shouldn't be, it should be like your fifth.
Yeah.
I just feel like.
But go through the wife. I think focus on the relationship with the wife. Go through
wife. It's just this says, here's the thing. I am not someone who takes my own advice. If I thought the wife was thought the wife was down, if I thought both of them were down, yeah, I'm fucking doing it. I'm fucking doing it. But like, you don't, do as I say, not as I do. Okay. All right. Next question.
I'm a pan woman. I love my partner and I want to honor their journey with gender and deconstructing fat phobia. But also I'm less into sex as they become more masculine and less thin. This body change is healthy for them. How do I fix my heart and or my vagina on this?
Oh boy.
Okay, I'm a pan woman. I love my partner and I want to honor their journey with gender and deconstructing fat phobia.
So what I'm seeing from this is the partner is transitioning, right?
The partner is transitioning.
The partner is becoming more transmasc.
Yes,
basically.
correct.
I'm not sure like where they started from, but they're becoming more transmasc.
Yes. And they want to deconstruct fat phobia, but they said they're less into sex as they become more masculine and less than. Got it.
So I'm going to give you some advice I'm going to give you some.
I read that the wrong way at first.
I'm going to give you some good advice. Okay. You need to diversify your Instagram feed. You need to diversify your Instagram feed. You need to diversify.
Great advice.
You need to diversify your Instagram. You need to start following more fat people of all genders. You need to start following, and there's tons of them. You need to start, or diversify your TikTok if you still have a TikTok or whatever. Diversify your Instagram feed. There is a direct correlation. This is science. There's a direct correlation between the types of people that we see on our Instagram and who we view to be attractive.
Yes.
Your brain is currently not.
You got to reprogram.
Yes. Your brain is brainwashed to think something that is categorically not true. You need to reprogram.
You need to reprogram.
So that is the first thing you can do.
That is such a good piece of advice.
Diversify, yeah.
Such a good piece of advice.
That is the thing I tell everyone. That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm going to borrow. This is a little piece of advice I'm borrowing from, I want to say, an advice column I read many years ago. Every so often, like people write into advice columns and be like, my partner is getting fat. You know, I don't like him anymore. And like, I think that you have sort of two options there. If you don't want to do the growth of diversifying your Instagram feed, which I think you should do anyway.
Which is a bare minimum, guys.
Yes, bare minimum.
Bare minimum. It's a few keystrokes.
Yes. But the first thing is you can break up with them. You don't have to be in a relationship with someone you're not attracted to. You can break up with them. That is an option. Option 2 is to actively understand that you are a finite, ephemeral person, and that your body is a finite, ephemeral, magical thing that is borrowed stardust from the universe in which we live, and that will never exist in this current state ever again, and therefore is magical in those properties. And understand that, like, we don't appreciate enough the fact that our bodies are only borrowed. And I think that we take them for granted, and it causes us to abuse them. And it causes us to not view them as the magical things that they are. I think to have more sex, you need to have more sex. And I'm not saying that from a perspective of force yourself to have sex when you don't feel like it, because that's not what I mean. I'm saying that, like, that's how people have more sex, is they just have more sex. And sometimes that means, like, leaning into, like, doing like a little bit of sexual activity when, like, you feel like it, and then stopping when you don't. But, like, I think sometimes we stop ourselves from delighting in each other's bodies because of X, Y, and Z reasons, when we don't take into account the fact that, like, today is kind of all we have. This body that we have today is all we have.
And how do you also, like, I think if there's also too a fundamental basis of, like, intellectual and emotional attraction, how do you ignite that within the context of the bedroom? Like, is there a way that you could have, like, a conversation about, like, you know, role play or kink play or experimenting? Like, if you have a basis of, like, intellectual respect for one another, and that's a conversation that you're comfortable having, can you use that foundation to kind of lean as, like, a launch pad into trying new things in the bedroom? Like, hey, I want to try these new things.
People don't share their porn with each other is enough, I think.
Oh,
people
great.
People don't share their porn with each other.
That's a great...
Everyone needs to be trading.
Trade holes.
Everyone needs to be, like, trading their searches. Okay, so actually it's the thing that I do. I have a Reddit account that's just porn.
Oh, okay.
I have a Reddit account that's it's basically like
just whole.
It's just porn. It's just porn, and it's just all of the things I follow. It's just all porn. And that's, like, a really useful thing to be like, here you go.
That's great. It's like an Instagram feed for what turns you on. That's a great. I would have never thought of that.
Super helpful. It's super useful. And also, because, like, well, here's the thing. You used to be able to do this on Tumblr, and then they got rid of all the porn on Tumblr. You can still do it on Reddit. So, like, that's helpful. But yeah, compile yourself. I don't think this is what you're asking, but I do think it's good advice.
No, I think so too.
Compile yourself a porn Reddit, and then, like, just trade them. Yeah. Because, like, honestly, you're gonna learn things about each other.
Yeah,
you're gonna learn things about each other that are interesting and fun. And
you may be buying wigs.
You may for your dick.
You may be buying those little mustaches for your dick.
Yeah, like, fuck, that's, like, the most millennial thing I've ever heard in my life. But yeah, I think that. But, like, I also think that truly diversify your Instagram feed.
Yes.
Like, really, really, and commit to that. Like, actually, because, like, your brain will start to view bodies differently once your digital diet is different.
Yeah.
And you can change that. So.
Yeah. That's a great piece of advice. Okay.
Right, next.
I left Mormonism 5 years ago, and I'm still having a hard time getting out of this fucking cult mindset and living my life. I want to be gayer, hotter, everything, but I'm stuck.
Okay. Number 1, therapy.
100%.
If you are not in therapy, or if you are not in some sort of support group for people who've escaped.
Yes, support group. Yes, if you can't afford therapy, because I know therapy can be very expensive.
Support group for people who are escaping religious trauma, or people who've had religious trauma. You need to talk to other people who are doing this.
Yes.
Because right now you are suffering by yourself. And, like, that's not, so that's
I think also to your previous point, like actually diversifying your feed, like finding creators that have also escaped Mormonism and talking about their experiences and talking about how they overcame their trauma will make you feel very much less alone.
Another way to diversify your Instagram feed for this specific problem, if you live in a major city, or if you live, honestly, probably in a minor city, there is probably at least one Instagram account that's talking about gay stuff in your area.
Yeah.
There's probably somebody. If you live in a city, there's probably somebody. And like, I think that like
a kickball league,
getting hooked up in that is like, especially because like we live in Los Angeles. I don't think there's any lesbian bars left in Los Angeles, but there are like a ton of like sapphic nights, and like there's tons of like, like point is that you need to see what your future can look like via seeing how other people are living in their present. Like I know a lot of these are like change your Instagram, but I truly think that like we spend a lot of time on Instagram, and it is one of the few media feeds that we can truly customize. And we should be using that feature.
Mindful social media consumption will change your life.
I do think so.
If you can consciously if there are things in your life that you feel like you're not getting enough of, a very easy fix for that is consciously engaging with your feed and seeking out other creators and content that are filling that hole in a positive way.
Because you do need to see what other people are doing. Because like honestly, imitation is how you get there first.
Yep.
Because like right now,
fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Because right now, what's happening is you're just like, I don't know what to do, and it's like, okay, you need to break it down to steps, right? It's like, it's kind of like when Brie was just like, do you want to transition? Like, well, we should try using different pronouns at home. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, change your name. You're like, no, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But the thing
Christian?
is like,
no, don't like it.
Yeah. Like you have a problem right now. Break down the problem. You want to be gayer? Okay. What are some ways you can dress gayer? What are some ways can you cut your hair gayer? Can you engage?
Print out that photo of Connor's story and bring it to your stylist. See what they say.
Exactly. Can you engage in gayer, like social, can you go to the gay kickball league? Like what are some little things you can do every day? Because like, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm a homo. Like, I mean, you can, but like, yelling it doesn't make it true. It's not like it's not like in The Office where like Michael Scott declares bankruptcy. I declare bankruptcy. You can't just declare a homo.
Yeah.
You have to like actually like,
Why does that sound like an asset when you said that? I've declared a homo.
I've declared a homo. Like obviously being gay is not like what you do. It is who you are. But if you want to live a gayer life, then yes, it will be what you do, because like that's how you live a gayer life. So yeah, like if you're stuck, little things at a time.
Should we do that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I keep sleeping with men, but then feel terror about myself. I am unfortunately not attracted to women. Tips?
Okay. A couple things. You might be attracted to no one.
Oh.
That's a possibility.
Didn't even consider that one.
That's a possibility.
That's an Uno card I haven't heard of.
You may be asexual. You may be aromantic. You may be not aromantic, but you may be asexual. I would interrogate that. If you I think like the follow-up question is, are you attracted to people? Are you like actually like, are you experiencing attraction? Because like if you're,
or are you sleeping with bums who you don't even like?
Yes. It's possible that you're not sleeping with people who are very good.
Yeah.
That's also possible.
Yeah.
That's another possibility.
Are you also new to having sexual experiences?
That's another possibility. It's possible that you could be demisexual, which means that you are not experiencing attraction towards people unless like you get to know them as people.
Yeah.
And maybe like there's a lot of information I don't have here that I'm kind of trying to like extrapolate from like the gaps. Because like right now it seems like I keep accidentally sleeping with men.
I keep falling onto dicks.
I know. Like my other thing I would follow up with is, are you sure you're not attracted to women? Do you just think you're not attracted to women because like you have like this idea in your head about like what that would look like, and like it doesn't like fit your current experience? Because I will say the first time I was attracted to a woman, it was not who I thought I would be attracted to, and it really fucked me up.
That's a really good point.
That's also a possibility. Like I think that there's a lot. I need more information. I kind of need this person to like.
I will say too, in my experience, like I was sleeping with men I had a period where I was sleeping with men and I felt terrible about myself after. And then I kind of reframed it where I was like, okay, What I learned from this experience, though, was what I like in bed and what I don't, and who I like to have sex with and who I don't. And so I kind of took it as like a R&D, research and development phase, where I developed the product of which that turns me on, and I took those lessons from that experience and went, okay, wait, I liked this about this person, I liked this about what we did in bed, and I liked that about what this other person did. And then from that experience, I kind of was able to put an amalgamation of a map of what I was attracted to, because prior to that, I was a serial monogamous.
Yes.
And so I didn't have enough sexual experience. I didn't have enough data points to even figure out who I liked and what I liked. And so instead of saying like, I feel terrible about myself, like free yourself from the sexual shame of having these experiences. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in having sex with whoever you want to have sex with.
Yeah, don't slut shame yourself. I'm seeing a lot of like internalized slut shaming. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Who cares? Fuck it.
I once had sex with a man and then left him at Jack in the Box. He wouldn't leave my house. I didn't know what else to do.
Jack in the Box is the universal drop-off point.
Literally, he was still there, and he was really cute.
He's still there to this day.
He's still there to this day. And I was like, let's go get lunch. And then I was like...
Lunch? Wait, this was during the day?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. This was like, oh my God, this was so many years ago. I had sex with this guy. He was like younger than me. I want to say he was like, I was like 27 or something. He was like 23.
Hot.
I know, super hot. Anyway, he was really tall. He was really cute, but he was like a 23-year-old guy who lives in LA. Like, so he has nothing going on.
Yeah. Two rocks in a brain rolling around.
He was really cute and he was hanging out a lot. And I was just like, and it was in the morning and I was like, okay, so then you go. And then he would not leave. And I was like, let's go get lunch. And so we went to Jack in the Box and we ate lunch. And then I was like, all right, bye. Because I needed to get him out of my house.
Yeah. So sometimes you're going to have to leave them at Jack in the Box.
Sometimes you got to leave a guy at Jack in the Box.
And that's okay.
Also, if that guy...
He jacked your box, and now you get to leave him at Jack in the Box.
Full circle.
All right, that's been Night School. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. Also, turn on notifications for when we drop our YouTube episodes. I'm trying to stay consistent on the community drops, but if you turn on those notifications, you will find out every time we put out an episode, which comes out every Saturday at 9 a.m. Follow us on Instagram at Night School Pod, and we are everywhere you get your podcast. Kristin, plug.
I already talked about this at the beginning, but I'll talk about it again. I'm on stand-up tour. You can get all tickets at KristinChirico.com. Sign up for my mailing list.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.